We're learning more details today about the double murder-suicide in Brighton from Friday. There, a young girl and her grandmother both shot and killed by the 11-year-old's father.
Isabel Garcia joined us with a look at the events that took place prior to that shooting. Isabel.
Yes, Brighton Police Chief David Cathaldi confirming Lawrence Mancuso, the father in the situation who took his own life after the double shooting, had called 911 the day prior. This, I'm told, for a custodial inquiry, something the chief tells me is fairly normal for law enforcement to deal with, also noting there were no red flags. 4 days after the Brighton murder-suicide tragedy, which claimed the life of 11-year-old Ann Mancuso and her grandmother, Mary Licini, we're learning new details from police about the person determined to be responsible for carrying out the horrific acts of violence. The girl's father, identified as Lawrence Mancuso, had called 911 the day prior.
It was, I don't know if cordial is the right word, but it was just a routine conversation. He had questions about custody. Didn't like the idea that Ann was staying with the grandmother. He didn't believe that was in the custody agreement. That may be open for interpretation.
Mancuso and Ann's mother were divorced for some time, with Mancuso living on East Brookline at the time of this incident. The chief tells me the investigation so far determined around 9 a.m. on Friday, Lawrence purchased alcohol at a local store, then traveled to a relative's home in Greece, where he stole multiple firearms, 4 to be exact, all of which have since been recovered. He then drove back to Brighton, parked at the corner before carrying out the unthinkable. The chief says he is satisfied with the response, also becoming emotional while answering questions about the scope of the tragedy.
And this was asked of me. Could it have been prevented? I don't know. As I sit here right now, I don't know. If I could roll the clock back, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think it could have been. I think once your mind is set, once that evil is in you and it's set, you're going to do violence. It's very hard to break that cycle.
And prior to this, Mancuso worked at Cornell University as the Assistant Dean for Human Resources in the School of Industrial and Labor Relations. He took a leave of absence in October. The reason is unknown. One of the many whys, I'm told, which may never be answered. Now, there is a wealth of resources available, including Willow, which has 24/7 free confidential access. For now, reporting in the studio, Isabel Garcia, News 8.